solo today, so unfortunately that means that it's going to be a little bit more dangerous for me to kind of operate the machinery, let's say. So I'm going to just keep the dash cam going, tell you where I am periodically, and tell you what I'm doing, what I'm planning. So today is a moderate risk day, and we are dealing with a pretty powerful system that we've seen for the last several days, and it is going to be creating conditions for tornadoes across central Oklahoma and eastern Oklahoma. And this is basically the first wave that's coming in right now. Some supercells are forming, including the one to my north. It is moving really fast, and to be honest with you, I'm not really sure that I can keep up with it, but I'll do my best to do that. You can't really see much right now. It's pretty hazy. The speeds are so fast today. So then, if that doesn't work out, there's some new storms that are developing to my south that I could easily slide towards Katy, towards Tatum's. There's an outflow boundary there. I do like that area for a little bit of backing surface winds. So longer term, I'm thinking that I'll probably head that way. But this looks like a target of opportunity to my north. I'm currently stuck behind a vehicle going kind of slow, so I'm going to see if I can get around them. So, oh, no, I can't. There's a car coming. So just trying to be safe out here. Let me check the live stream to see if anyone's on and watching. Longer term, I'm thinking that I'll probably head that way. Okay, looks like nobody's on yet, so that's cool. Announced it on the Twitters. Right. So currently located just to the northeast of Purcell, and I'm going to try to chase this storm that's developed pretty early. I don't necessarily anticipate that will be the storm of the day, but it is definitely something to keep an eye on. Really, I don't see much in the way of features. It looks much better on radar than it does live, I'll tell you that. Oh, I see the live stream is going. Hey everybody, how is it going? Gabriel, how's it going? Garrett? Yeah, it's going to be a rowdy day here in Oklahoma. Yeah, dangerous day ahead for sure. Hey, it's a Philly thing. How's it going? What's up, Galzo? Tornado season peak is happening. That is right. So where am I today, Clayton? I am just southeast of Norman. I'm getting into a rain shower. So, yeah, I'm going to chase this little storm just east of Norman. I will say that I'm probably not going to do much radar work today. I tried that a couple days ago, and to be honest with you, it was a little unsafe to kind of try to do all the multitasking, and I think I'll be better suited just to let the dash camera go. So that's what I'm planning to do. Just give you the video. I'll call out the locations from time to time. Right now, I'm just east of McKittyville, Oklahoma, on a little podunk road out here, trying to keep up with this really fast-moving, developing supercell east of Norman. Got my turn in about 3 miles, so I'm going east now. I'll be turning north. That's the plan. What's up, Jason? How are you doing, man? Thank you, Galzo. I'll stay safe. So, like I said, just to reiterate, my plan today is to head east. Try to catch up with this developing supercell, and it looks like it is developing a hook echo. It is a little bit tiny. It's around Kink right now. I'm about almost southwest of this storm right now. So, gosh, in a little bit I'll be able to go north towards it. A couple miles I'll be able to turn north and get close to it and get some shots. But honestly, when it was around Purcell, it really didn't look all that great. It was kind of elevated looking, so I think things might take a little time. I was looking at low-level shear, 0 to 1 kilometer storm relative velocity, and it looks like it will be a while before these storms really go nuts, unless the instability just compensates for the lack of low-level shear. We'll see what happens. Sometimes that can happen, right? You don't have very big low-level shear, and you still get a tornado, even in spite of that, because of the big instability. So that could happen today. But otherwise, I kind of expect that we're going to have to wait a little bit until the environment improves just a touch to the east. Going east on this let's see what road this is. Slaughterville Road, and I'm about to turn north here in about a mile. So east right now, again, just southeast of Norman on that little cell, and then I'll be turning north here in a minute. That's the cell that has this nice hook echo near Tecumseh, and it looks like the storm to my southwest has also gone warned here, so there's a possibility of dropping south towards that one a little bit later. So that's kind of my strategy right now, is to topscotch, play the storm just to the east of Norman, and then maybe if I can't keep up with it or it doesn't look good, then drop south. But right now it looks still pretty decent. It's heading into pretty nice air. Let's see what's up in the chat. Yeah, the cell near pink is looking good, Gabriel. That is the one that I'm going after for sure. All right, here's my turn coming up. Dangerous intersection, they tell me. All right, that means I need to slow down. There it is. By the way, the stream might be a little fuzzy today because we are in the sticks, and I'm using Starlink, which is awesome, except when you're in the sticks. So if it gets fuzzy, just let me know. It was a little fuzzy yesterday. We had a lot of chasers out in northwest Oklahoma, having a good time, seeing tornadoes near Arnett. That was awesome. But now we're in the sticks, and we'll have all the effects of the stickiness. So, man, these roads are not so much fun here east of Norman. You wouldn't even believe it's Oklahoma. All right. Garrett says tomorrow is the 2013 EF5 Moore anniversary. Wow, that is true. That's crazy. I saw that one. Brings back memories. That's 12 years ago. Incredible that it's been that long. Galzo says, I'm glad I have found a storm chaser who's not yelling and screaming. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Although, I will say, to be honest, I was yelling and screaming a little bit with Arnett, maybe outside my car, because it was so beautiful. That LP structure was incredible. Well, I decided to change my mind on storm chasing today. I thought I might not be able to chase, but looks like I can, so I'm pretty happy about that. So you're heading my way. That's awesome. Clayton, what was the mesoanalysis for today? So basically, we've got this big jet stream coming in, which is initiating some strong southerly low-level flow, and that's bringing in great moisture, big moisture. We have good instability today. Cape is like 4,000, 5,000, just like it was yesterday. Shear's a little lesser than it was yesterday until you get to eastern Oklahoma. So to be completely frank, I think maybe the best conditions for tornadoes are going to be in eastern Oklahoma on, kind of on a broader scale, just because of that, improved low-level shear there. However, I will say there is an outflow boundary appears to be to my south, and I think, if I can't keep up with this storm, I'm probably going to head over that way. Oh man, that is rocking and rolling though near pink. I see the signature. Wish I could show you the radar. Like I said, I'm going to try to mind my business here, be a little bit safer than I was a couple days ago. So that means I'm not going to be able to show you as much, which is unfortunate, but hopefully that means a better stream, a longer stream for everyone. Clouds. But at this point, I'm probably about 5 miles south of that storm near pink, and heading for it, getting close. Hitting some podunk roads here east of Norman. I tried to intercept it near Purcell, but to be quite honest with you, I probably should have headed east out of Norman because it is moving at a very fast clip. It said on the warning, just southwest of Burnett, Oklahoma. Just southwest of Burnett, Oklahoma. And the time is, let's see, the time is 12:42 p.m. local. About to get to the east-west road there, and then I'm going to head east a little bit towards the road just north of Tribby. So there's a north-south road that goes through Tribby, and then ultimately it goes just east of Pink. I think that may be the one that goes to Shawnee. Same line of longitude as that storm, north-south line. So I'm literally due south of Pink by about 6 miles. and it is hazy out here, so you can't see squat. So it'll be a little bit difficult to see the storms unless you're right on them. All right, let's see what's up in the stream. Yeah, that tornado in Arnett was incredible to see. Yes, absolutely. What's up, Kendra? How are you? Good to see you on the stream. Okay, here's my east-west road. I'm gonna go ahead and turn east. Looks like that storm near Katie's getting going. I like that bit of a hook echo as well. It's a pretty good environment. But I think this environment will be just as good potentially as that one, except for maybe that one has the advantage of the outflow boundary. So assuming I can't keep up with this one, I will probably drop south, and that may well be happening. It is bad news bears here. Good heavens. Eastern Oklahoma, y'all. Yeah, as I mentioned, I'm just on the, I'm just about 5 miles south of Pink at this point. And Elmore City's looking interesting. See what's going on with the winds. This is more of a target of opportunity than it is a conscious choice, because I was busy in Norman with some other stuff, and then just kind of saw this, said I need to get there quick. I will say the winds are pretty backed here, just out ahead of this storm, so I actually kind of like this storm. Although I will say that boundary looks pretty good off to the east, down in southeast Oklahoma. Although really everywhere looks about the same, so I'm going to stay on this for now. Oh, just got my latest volume scan. It looks like it's coming apart. Okay, well maybe that's my sign. I think I might drop. I'm really having a hard time keeping up with this storm, I'll tell you the truth. Okay, I think I'm going to drop through Tribby. So right now I'm just south of Burnett, Oklahoma. So if you know where Noble, Oklahoma is, just south of Norman, and you go east by about 15 or 20 miles, that's where I am right now. And I'm going to head towards Tribby, Oklahoma, and go south. I'm breaking off this storm. It's just not looking that great. We got a new storm coming up near Pauls Valley. I think I can go ahead and position myself just northeast of that. I'll tell you what, these things are moving fast. I wonder if there's any velocity in these storms. I'm not really seeing anything just yet. Sense. It always happens near Wynnewood, doesn't it? Wynnewood, Tiger King. Thanks, Kendra. I appreciate it. Hi, Shania. Optimistic. All right, getting close to my south turn. Ooh, there's a truck. Don't like these roads, I'll tell you that. Gosh, all I've seen today is trees. Goodness. Yeah, that cell to the north, it's looking a little skinnier. Okay, so that cell near Pink, it's kind of decreasing in scale, which I don't like. But I do like the fact that the one near Elmore City has more lightning and is increasing in scale. So that looks like the one that I need to go after. So again, currently I am near Tribby, just south of that northern cell in that cluster, that pair. I don't know, maybe you couldn't call it a pair. It's in, basically in Oklahoma, near I-35. So I'm definitely not going to catch up with that thing. That thing is becoming elevated. But the good news is I've headed more. So that's what we're going to do. Getting close to that road that goes through Tribby. Here we go. This is the road, I do believe. Yeah, that's the one. All right, 102. I'm on highway up 102 just north of Tribby. Got some clouds and such to the south, show them where that storm is. That storm's looking a little troubled too. I don't know that it looks amazing right now, although it has a direction, more north, I think, than east, which I love right now. This is definitely to my advantage. Oh, okay. So, whether our IRL asks, are they surface-based yet? I don't know. I would hesitate to say so. It's very possible that they're still elevated. Okay, restart this chat real quick. All right. 4 supercells that got a severe thunderstorm warning. Okay, so no tornado warnings yet. That is okay. Yep. I'm in Tribby, Oklahoma right now. I am going to start targeting the southern cell, kind of closer to Ardmore City. There's a really big tornado over there in 2016 that I chased. Eventually ended up near Sulphur, which was, just a monster out there. Big old tornado. It was a 1.5 miles wide. Had winds over 200 miles per hour. Definitely some of that potential today. Sounds like from the SPC that we're going to see a first round of thunderstorms like we have now that we're going towards, and then we're going to encounter another wave, possibly, towards late afternoon. And I'd like to chase that as well. Earlier today I was thinking I might beg off and go back home because I had some work things to work on. But that seems to be set now, and so I'm chasing. I'm really happy about that. Glad you guys are with me. Hopefully the stream is okay today. I'm in a bunch of trees. I've got Starlink, and Starlink does not work well in trees. So today, not doing the radar thing on the stream because I need to be safe. I need to mind my map, and I think this is the best way to do it, just to keep the dash cam going, and I'll just concentrate on driving and navigating. I'm solo today. Zach had to get back to Arkansas today. Obviously, they've got a risk of severe weather today, including tornadoes. So it's just me. But I think this could be a good day as well. So I'm about to pass through Tribby. I'm just going to keep heading south on this Highway 102. Actually, I just passed through Tribby. You blink it and you miss. That's amazing. I didn't know that was Tribby. Now I'm going through Trousdale, Oklahoma. That's my next waypoint. To the south, I'm on Highway 102, just east of I-35, southeast of Norman. I was originally targeting a storm that was near Pink, and I decided to target another storm, the one that's closer to that outflow boundary, southeastern Oklahoma. That's a good setup, generally speaking. So we'll see what happens. Okay, yeah, that's getting to some pretty good curvature on that Pauls Valley storm, so I like it. I'm about 35-40 miles away from that to the northeast, so I'm in good position to intercept that. So I bet you I will be having some good views of this in probably about 30 minutes maybe, or less. Okay. Oklahoma, western Arkansas. Well, I think this may be part of the show, so I don't know if I continue chasing it. I probably will be, but we'll see. It looks like the stream's kind of rotten at times. I can kind of see it on my phone right now. Sorry about that. Jared says, Philly thing means that next year we'll probably get hit again, since every 13 seems that more gets hit by an EF5. Oh, yeah. Guess that. So it was May 99 to 2013, so that's about 14 years, that's right. So Clayton, I think he's got that possibility. I think all bets are off today, honestly. I think we have potential for the full suite of tornadoes just like yesterday. You saw that storm maybe up near Wichita, northwest of Wichita, southeast of Dodge City, Greensburg area. I mean, that's the kind of action that we can anticipate today. I mean, there's definitely that potential. I don't think it's quite as likely as yesterday was, because the shear was a little bit stronger. But I mean, if the storm conditions orient themselves just right, the max potential is there for some EF3 plus type tornadoes. Okay. Now I am south of Tribby, approaching Truesdale again, and I'll be on that Pauls Valley storm probably in the next 15-20 minutes. If I get stopped, I might even show you on the map where I am, but right now I'm just minding my business and trying not to get into trouble with the road. Oh wow, that Pauls Valley storm is explosive. The original storm that I was chasing, it looks like it is dying, so I don't think I made a bad decision there, so I like that. Looking at velocity, tilt 1 doesn't look like there's much velocity at Pauls Valley, or tilt 3, excuse me, so the storm is still getting organized, okay? So it's going to be a minute before we start seeing much from that, but it's got the potential, I think, probably in the next, half hour or so. It's definitely got that nice shape to it, right? You see that nice, kidney bean shape? That's what you want to see. The scale is getting bigger too. I also like a storm that's getting bigger, because that means that it's going to be able to use the helicity, use the shear, use the spin. Okay. All right. Well, I will say this feels slower than molasses. Believe it or not, we're going about 50 miles per hour, so I can't complain, but I feel like we're going a little slowly. That's okay, we'll get there. Now we're approaching Trousdale. So if you can see that on the map, this is basically just downstream of where that storm is headed. And I should be able to get out of the precip core near Winnett. So if there is going to be a tornado, I think I'm going to be in an excellent position. Oops, I'm going the wrong way. An excellent position to see it. That's good news. Problem with today is, I will say, the storm motion is pretty ridiculous. So far early on, it's been about 50 to 55, which makes it really, really hard to keep up with. So hopefully these slow down a little bit. Yeah, that cell near Pink is pretty much dead. So now I guess it's near Shawnee, just north of Shawnee. So looks like I made the right call at the right time. So that's good. Let's see what happens with this storm. And then it looks like the storm's west of Fort Smith. Still looking a little disorganized now. So it's still early. I mean, can you believe it? It's only 1 p.m. Very early. And I'm not saying that today is going to be anything like what we saw on May 20th, 2013. But I do remember that day, the EF5 tornado at Ardmore day, that started early too. We had storm development right around this time, and actually a storm kind of got going near Oklahoma City right around 2 p.m. I think. So kind of similar-ish timing. That day wasn't an all-world day. It was a moderate risk day. I think there was not much expectation that day that anything would happen in central Oklahoma. Most folks went down to south central Oklahoma. In fact, that's where I was headed when I saw the storm go up just southwest of Norman, or southwest of Oklahoma City, and it immediately started hooking. And then we were on our way to Purcell, which is just south of Norman, and we decided to take a turn north as soon as the tornado warning came out. And literally, as we were leaving the town of Purcell, the EF5 at Moore touched down just as we were heading north. And it was crazy, because that was the first time I think that I had watched live stream video of tornadoes on my phone, and we could see that it was becoming a cone and then a wedge as we drove north towards it. And we caught up with it about 15 minutes into its life, during, I guess you could call it its lifespan, and more. And saw, today, I would say it's still today the most intense, real how fast those velocities were. And we were seeing big chunks of debris, probably the size of houses, maybe cars, floating up to space. Awful, horrific sight. And hopefully nothing like that happens today. Odds are pretty good. I think it stays out of metro areas, but hopefully folks are paying attention today to the weather. Okay, it looks like our storm is definitely improving. I'm near Winnett. I'm just downstream of the storm, and it looks like we're going to be able to make a great intercept of this storm. Potentially, if it produces a tornado, we'll be able to see it, probably near Byers. So I'm just going to mosey here for a little bit longer, and I'll get you a view. We'll stop and take a look. I'm going to put the motion on my radar just to see what we're dealing with in terms of storm motion, because I want to know where to position relative to it. Looks like it's turning right, so I'm going to go more towards Byers, which is a little further south. Let me see what's up in the stream. Yeah, it's a Philly thing says May 2013 was wild. That was when more happened in El Reno. Absolutely crazy. Okay, you're starting to get a view, so we'll have a view here pretty soon. Topiv says, thanks for the stream. Good luck and stay safe. Thank you. I'm going to do my best. Yeah. Jesus says, Medill storm popped off and passed by going 60 north and east. Yes, it's moving fast. And Weather IRL says, most people went to the southeast that day. I was there. LOL. Yeah, that happens, right? So just to give you some context right now, I am near Winnett, Oklahoma, Winnett. I am just northeast of the developing supercell, just east of I-35 now, near Pauls Valley. About to intercept just to the probably north of Byers, I'd say. It's got a pretty big hail core. I'm going to try to avoid the hail today. Yesterday, I did not do very well with the hail, to be honest. The storm near Arnett, Oklahoma, in far northwestern Oklahoma, it kind of went nuts. The hail core expanded all the way into the forward flank while it was producing that beautiful tornado there. And unfortunately, my rental vehicle was caught up in it. So we're heading south towards Winnett. Right now, I'm just northeast of that supercell in southern Oklahoma. About to turn east for a few hundred yards, and then I will turn to the south towards Winnett. The time is 1:01 p.m. Can you believe that? We're starting early today. I didn't even get to go over the forecast today. There was nothing to talk about. Just get right into the chase mode. Okay, here we go. Going into Winnett, Oklahoma on South Highway 102. So right now I'm probably about 10 or 15 miles northeast of the circulation center, north of Pauls Valley. So what I'm going to try to do is get a spot to set up the live stream, and so we can watch this thing come in. So hopefully you guys get a good look at this. It still appears to be moving a little bit more north than I'd like to see, so I think I'm going to probably actually stick around here if I can find a view. So I'm going to probably look for a view, maybe, let's see, maybe a few miles south of here. I don't want to get caught in the hail, so I have to be mindful of that. But I think we're not too far off of where we want to be. Going back to chat. Okay, sweet. I might look at mesoscale analysis pretty soon here, just to kind of see what the environment's like. Looks like there's a boundary that this thing is going to impact. Gosh, I need to slow down, Moses. This is slow going. This is Winnett. I got to be mindful of the speed because I don't want to get a ticket and stop streaming for you guys. So let's go the speed limit. Let's not get a ticket. I came on pretty quick. That's why you need a chase partner. I'd like to have a chase partner, but today I'm just going to do it solo, do the best I can. Here's Winnett. All right. 35 miles per hour right through the heart of town. Okay. Now we got a little bit of a curve here at Winnett. So I'm going to take a right turn. I'm going south now. Earl Street. Okay. All right, we're getting some views here, so that's good. looks like we're going to get out of the trees, which is lovely. If you know anything about central Oklahoma, you know that there's a lot of trees just south and east of Norman, and that's what we've been encountering. But there's a little bit of area kind of around Paul's Valley where it's not too bad. So hopefully we find some clear views here shortly. Oh, this one curved off to the left. My goodness gracious. I think that's the right turn. I think it is. Oh, shoot. It is not. This is going east. It's a dangerous view there. So maybe I'll just try to get a view. The view there. So maybe I'll just try to get a view. Got a good hill up here. Got a good hook echo. I'm going to try to put up the radar here in a second. Oh yeah, here we go. Starting to break out of the trees. We're near a river. I think that's really what's going on. We're in the forward flank of this thing, by the way. That's what's going on. The edge of the supercell just north of Byers. Supercell's now over Paoli. Not much of a circulation near the ground. Okay, this is a dangerous intersection, they tell me. So I'm slowing down. Looks like the storm near Katy is developing a stronger circulation than this one, maybe. Which would make sense, moving towards Wynnewood. So I may head down towards that eventually if this one doesn't do anything. Although this one has pretty big scale. Just north of Byers. I'll try to do the wipers a little bit more here for you. Whoa. About to cross the river. Boy, this is nasty terrain around here. Hard to believe that we're in central Oklahoma. Okay, I tell you what, I feel like this thing is lifting a little bit more north than I like, so I'm going to probably turn around, go back towards Gwinnett. Didn't want to stay out of the hail, but I think I could lose it if I continue going south, so I'm going to pull into this little driveway here. Let this person pass. And then I'm going to turn around, go back north. I guess they're doing the same thing I'm doing. Interesting. Looks like a storm chaser. Okay, now I'm heading back north towards Gwinnett. Of this storm because it's got a lot of hail out east of it, so I'm trying to avoid the hail but keep up with the storm, if you know what I mean. It's pretty hard to do, but now I'm in the forward flank. What's up? Okay. Hey everyone. So I'm on the northern supercell in that pair of supercells in central Oklahoma. I'm on the bigger one to the north. There's one near Katy that looks good, but this one that I'm on looks the best at the moment. So I'm trying to stay out ahead of it. It's moving pretty quickly, and it is in bad terrain. Let's see if I can find a view. Here we go. This might work. Let's see. Yeah. Almost. Some trees blocking me in the other direction. This would be so sweet. We do have a great view here. Tell you what. If anything gets interesting, I'll start to point the stream that way. But right now I'm just going to pull off and wait for it. More. Don't want to get stuck in the mud, but I also don't want to block the my radar real quick. Oh yeah, that's kind of dying, isn't it? All right. pull up my radar on my phone here. We'll see in just a short moment. Where I am. So just south of Gwinnett. That storm does not look that great. Yeah, there's not a lot of velocity here. It's kind of doing what the other storm did near Pink. You see that one? Near Wynnewood looks interesting, but it's a little small. These storms seem to be having some issues with maybe the cap. I don't know. Very interesting to see. There's almost nobody on this road, so that's nice. Let's see. Okay, so I'm pointed due north here. By the way, looking at when I get a view to the west, I'll point the camera that way. I don't want to block the road if I can help it. Unfortunately, there's no real pull-offs here, and it's a very treed area. So I'm just going to stay right here for the moment. If I see anything interesting, I'll point it that way. But so far, it's just a lot of what we see here. Oh, maybe I do see something interesting. Hold on. Starting to see a bit of a rain-free base. Do a T-turn on this really tiny road. I'm just really glad there aren't too many folks here right now. There it is as it's coming in. I'm going to keep my eye out for folks coming in, but I'll just keep the stream pointed that way so you can see it. Get rid of the So I'm right now near Gwinnett, Oklahoma, looking to the southwest here. I don't see anything that looks interesting at all, if I'm being perfectly frank. A little worried about hail here, so I'm just gonna kind of mind the drops. But if anything happens with this storm, I'll be here. Let me see what's up on chat. Okay, the rain is broken up, so that's good. Yeah, there's the supercell structure starting to oh shoot, sorry. Let's see what's up. Not see you coming. Chat. Apologies. Okay, the rain is broken up. That's good. Yeah, there's the supercell structure starting to. Trying not to block the road here. Oh, here's yours. Broken up. Honestly, there's not a whole heck of a lot to see. Looks like there's another car coming. So I'm just gonna supercell structure starting to turn around. Doesn't look like there's much going on with this storm right now, so I don't think there's any reason to be crazy with it. So I'm gonna position myself to turn around and follow it a little ways, I guess. Honestly, there's not a whole heck of a lot. Honestly, it doesn't look that great right now. So I'm just gonna supercell structure starting to turn around. There may be some reason. Doesn't look like there's much. It looks better to the south to go that way with this storm right now, so I don't think there's any reason to be crazy with it. So I'm gonna position myself to turn around and follow it a little ways, I guess. Honestly, there's not. Honestly, it doesn't look that great right now. So I'm just gonna turn around. There may be some reason. This is a good place to turn around. It looks better to the south to go that way with this storm right now, so I don't think there's any to turn around and follow it a little ways, I guess. Honestly, there's not. Honestly, it doesn't look that great right now. So I'm just gonna turn around. There may be some reason. This is a good place to turn around. It looks better to the south to go that way. This storm right now, so I don't think there's any to turn around. You're gonna turn back north towards Gwinnett. Goodness, there is a pretty good vault structure here. Maybe some reason. This is a good place. It's kind of cool. Wipers. You're gonna turn back north towards Gwinnett. So again, I'm near Gwinnett, Oklahoma. Here's a pretty good on the storm near Rosedale. It's kind of cool. Wait a minute until this turn back drop base starts doing that. Actually, you know what? I might not wait a minute.
Again,
at all.
I'm near Winnett.
Well, that's the only thing going on here, folks.
On the storm near.
So we may pause the stream if these things fall apart. The storms in eastern Oklahoma seem to be doing a little bit better in terms of.
You know what? I might not wait a minute. Again, I'm near Winnett.
Well, that's the only thing going on here. It does not seem to be doing a little bit better. Very good yet. In terms of. Yeah, that's the only kind of a no-go there. It's early though. Very good yet. Southern supercell and a pair of supercells in central Oklahoma right now. The time is 1:16 p.m. And a moderate risk for severe weather. We're seeing some severe weather playing out right now. Supercell, hail, maybe some high winds. Oklahoma right now. The time in central Oklahoma, also in eastern Oklahoma. Moderate risk for severe. It's kind of on the small side. It is not growing very quickly, so I have not very high expectations for the small side. It is not. Growing very quickly, so
Okay, we're coming up on Winnett.
Oh, nice farm equipment or something. Right, wipers here. Getting sunny. That's not a good sign when you're in the middle of a storm. I think this one may take some time, folks. Growing very quickly, so. Okay, we're. Yeah. I gotta say, I think this thing is probably falling apart, unfortunately. Wipers here. If we get sunny, that's not a good sign when you're in the middle of a storm. I think this one may take some. We're lucky we'd have this thing going, but hey, that's good for everyone else. Yeah. I gotta say, I think this thing is probably falling apart. Unfortunately. Wipers here. If we get sunny, that's not a good sign when you're in the middle of a storm. Okay, here we are in Winnett. Both of those storms appear to be falling apart at the moment. Hey, that's good for everyone. So this may be a hurry up and wait type of situation. I don't think this storm is going to do it. Okay, here we are in Winnett. Let me throw it up on the storms appear to be falling apart at the screen there here in a second. So this may be a
despite the fact
that there is supposedly a storm there. So I think
Throw it up on the.
my hunch is that this is game over, and the one to the south is kind of game over too. So nothing doing right now. I might mosey with this cluster, this pair here for a little bit just to see what happens. That this is game over. I'm not really thinking that's going to be nothing doing right now. Very interesting. I might mosey with this cluster, this pair here for a little bit just to see what happens. That this is game over. I'm not really thinking that's going to be nothing doing right now. Very interesting. I might mosey with this cluster, this pair here for a little bit just to see what happens. That this is game over. Let mesoscale information so we can kind of look through forecast a little bit and kind of figure out what's going on here, because obviously something's not right with these storms right now. Mesoscale supposedly in the middle of a supercell, and this thing is like it's sunny. Forecast a little bit and kind of figure out what's going on. So that's not working. Obviously something's not right with these. So maybe there'll be some attempts at supercell, and this thing there might be some attempts at supercells to the southwest here. Let's run the that's not loop. Yeah, nothing great right now. So I think maybe that wave is lifting. We'll check that out. Find a good spot to pull off. Supercells to the southwest here. Let's run that's not loop. Yeah, nothing great right now. So I think maybe that wave is lifting just north of one edge. Check that out. 9 supercells. Maybe we can go to Asher and take a closer look. 9 supercells. Maybe we can go to Asher and take a closer look. Actually, this is nice. We can go west, actually. I take that back. There's a pretty nice view out to the west. Whatever. It's I-35. There are no towns over here. We'll just pause and take a look at the forecast. There are no towns over here. This thing is elevated now. Never got going. Pause and take a look at the forecast. Some of the models showed this happening. This thing is elevated now. I think they were a little over-aggressive on that. Some of the models showed this happening. This thing is elevated now. I think they were a little over-aggressive on that. All right, I'm gonna some of the models showed this happening. Somewhere here. There were a bit better views here. A little bit more farmland. I'm gonna try to find a cattle pull off. Those are usually good here. That was one right there. A little bit more
farmland.
Perhaps they don't mind if I borrow theirs for just a second. Perhaps they don't mind if I borrow theirs for just a second. All right. Perhaps they don't mind if I borrow theirs for just a second. Oops. Hold on. All right. I'm going to go ahead and check out the chat. All right. I'm going to go ahead and my audio is echoing. Oh, thank you. I know why. Appreciate that American Airlines rule. And Taps Online says, Tolson here used your vids to learn how to read her models and photographs. Thank you so much for that series. Absolutely, you're welcome. And by the way, to that point, if you're curious, I have a online course for tornado chasing called the Tornado Chaser Transformation. It's an A to Z course that teaches you everything that I know from 25 years of experience chasing tornadoes. I've done that process of how to find tornadoes like we're using today and showcasing. So you can follow that link down below to the left. And also there's a link in the description that gives you a kind of a trial run on the course if you're curious how it is and you don't necessarily want to pay for it outright to start out with. You can look at that and try it out, see if you like it. And with that, let's look at the weather here. I'm gonna bring up weather front, pull that up. Some storms developing where we are, right? This is weather front app, and it's showing what amounts to failed attempts at convective initiation, but it looks like there might be some on the heels of this. So let me pop over to COD just a second, and I will bring up weather.cod.edu. weather.cod.edu. It's a great site. It has a lot of good information. It's not the most user friendly, I'd say, but it has some of the best, I would say, views that you can have. So I'm going to try to pull that up. Tell you what, their satellite is hard to use. So I'm trying to zoom in adequately. There we go. Okay, so you can kind of see what's going on here. Looks like storms we saw kind of dissipating. New storms over eastern Arkansas. And I think that outflow boundary is kind of just north of the Red River. It's probably going to continue to bake. My guess is that it's probably associated with a lead shortwave trough that I think SBC talked about in their discussion this morning. So shortwave trough is just a mid-level spin that out ahead of that spin you get rising motion. And so I think that's what's happening here. But unfortunately, in the wake of the rising motion that would be the cause for initiation of thunderstorms, you get sinking motion. So I think we may be getting some of that here. I'm going to check that here in a second. Just a second, I'm going to pop over to SB. Okay. So I'm on the SPC mesoanalysis page, and what I'm going to look for here, if you can look up upper air in that tab, and then, oh my, that was quite a truck there. 700 to 400 millibar differential vorticity advection. Yeah, okay, so that kind of makes sense. It looks like maybe what happened, and I don't know, we can maybe go back in time a couple hours, let's see. Yeah, it looks like there was a wave here associated with these blue isolines here. That represents rising motion, and I think that's what happened a couple hours ago to lead to those storms in southern Oklahoma. Basically, wherever those blue lines are headed, in this case from southwest to northeast towards southern Oklahoma, that's going to cause rising motion. Now, with time, it looks like that blue, that rising motion has moved into eastern Oklahoma. You see that? So it's in eastern Oklahoma now, so that's where the rising motion is. Thus, the storms in southern Oklahoma are sinking, are not going up anymore. So the support there for lift is not there anymore. But it looks like there's some more coming out to the west associated with the main trough. So we should be in good shape pretty soon. Okay, let's look at Cape. I might pull off just a touch more off this road. I think that's probably better than being here. I'm sure these good folks won't mind. All right. So, ooh, wow, 5,500 Cape. I'm not sure why that's not opening up. Okay, let me back out of this a little bit. Let's try again. SRH. I really want to know where the low-level shear is today. It's going to be a key component. Yeah, it looks like it's mostly in eastern Oklahoma. We have pretty weak low-level shear right here. Not great if you want tornadoes. Great if you're just an ordinary person. I think it's supposed to increase with time. Yeah, you can look at the forecast. This is for 20Z, which is 3 o'clock local time. Looks like these lines, the higher numbers, are better low-level shear. And it looks like in southeastern Oklahoma, you start seeing 250 0 to 1 kilometer SRH, which is the shear you need for tornadoes. And really, all things considered, this suggests to me that I might need to reposition east. I don't like that because it is really, unfortunately, once you get past I-35, all bets are off for trees and hills and such. So we'll do the best we can. I might see if I can wait for something to form a little bit further towards Ardmore, even though the conditions aren't that great there, because North Texas, that might be nice to see. It looks like the conditions are pretty good there, and they're not amazing, but they're okay. Oh, look at that near North Texas. So I might reposition for a little bit and head west towards I-35, maybe drop south to Ardmore, and then we'll see what happens. So that's probably what I'm going to do. Get a chat here. Okay. All right, folks. I think I'm going to hit the road. I think I'm going to go west of 35. Currently east of 35, basically due west of Purcell. So I'm just going to go back to Purcell, and then actually I should go. Yeah, I'd probably go due west of Purcell. So stand by. I'm going to be doing some repositioning. The chase will get interesting in a little while. Maybe. So Tim says he's headed up 75. So he'll be a bit east of me in an hour. Okay. Cool. Oh, I see something going up. Haha, excellent. Let's see, here vigorously near Waurika. So I'm just gonna put in the GPS Ringling. Well, that came up pretty quick. $64 miles away, wow. Okay, so the current trajectory I'm on is the best one, so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna arrive there at 3:07. Definitely the best cell to go on. Man, that got going in a hurry. Shoot. Okay, I'm gonna put that on. Current location is just east of Purcell, kind of heading back where I came from in central Oklahoma. I like the look of the cells, or the cell coming out of Archer City. So I'm going to be heading south towards that. First I got to go west towards Purcell, and then I will drop south. So that's associated with we saw earlier on the SBC mesoanalysis, 700 to 400 millibar differential vorticity advection. In this case it was positive, and that just means rising motion. I really like the look of that cell down there too, because not only is it a little bigger, but we know that there's upper support for it. We know there's lift coming in from that shortwave trough at 500 millibars, and so we should have been a long 3 days. I've had a good time though. Get some water here. My throat is a little parched. So if you're just joining the stream and head towards the Red River, looks like some new development is happening quickly near Archer City. That's definitely going to be the best place to be as the upper jet energy arrives in the next couple hours. Conditions there should be favorable for the development of tornadoes. And I'm going to join all the dots, the red dots here for the fun. The red dots are the spotter net location IDs. So that would be storm chasers, just like me. And we're all kind of in central Oklahoma, although there's some folks that are already in good position to intercept that cell coming out of Wichita Falls. That's a ways from where I am, but it's all right. We'll get there. In fact, this is maybe the one that the HER had indicated would be the cell of the day. Well, one of the HER runs. Gosh, I tell you what, usually it's all over the place. At least today it was. It's very rarely just kind of pinning things down. Yesterday was okay. The performance was okay. Although I think some of the models had storms going on in western Oklahoma, which never happened. So it's a little bit of a location miss on that point. But reiteration of what we're doing here, head towards Ardmore, Ringling area as that cell, hopefully, that cell near Archer City, which is in the far southwest part of the screen there, that begins to interact, it moves north of the Red River. Man, we are baking here, cooking. We're baking pretty high, I should say. Cooking with gas. It's hot out here, and Cape is like over 5,000 now, down near Archer City, which is just unreal. Construction here. All right. I'm going to go on mute for a minute. I'm going to call some folks real quick, and then I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. Let's go back to that Archer City. It's coming up pretty big. Not moving nearly as fast as the cell or cells that we saw earlier, or you didn't really see them at all, to be honest. They were cranking, they were moving. So again, we're heading towards Purcell, Oklahoma. So let me zoom out, you can see where that is. Central Oklahoma. So my plan is to hit I-35 and drop south towards that developing thunderstorm. Should be moving in a pretty good environment. I will say that longer term, some of the high-res models have shown that these storms will turn into a line, and I'm thinking that if these cells start to go linear, I might call it a day. But for now, this looks pretty isolated, so I'm going to chase them as long as it seems good to do that. And I really like the fact that this one near Archer City is really isolated, and it's in slightly. Once I get out of construction here, probably hop over to chat, see what's going on. By the way, I can see some towering cumulus ahead of me. It's pretty cool. Good to be back in chasing mode. I love it. Yeah, those tops, those towering cumulus tops, kind of mushy, so I don't think they're as vigorous. It's probably due to the what we call subsidence or sinking motion behind the spin in the mid-levels that was creating the rising motion over here that caused the thunderstorms to develop. So it's kind of causing those updrafts to decrease in height. Cell near Archer City is definitely improving. So we're getting close to Pauls Valley, Pauls Valley, Purcell. There's a lot of town to go through there, I'll tell you that. Some of these towns in Oklahoma, I'll tell you, gosh, was it, I'm trying to remember the name of it, Bartlesville, northeast Oklahoma. If you've ever been there, Dewey, Copan, I think is up there too. Those towns, I think they're kind of linked together, and they seem to just... Oh man, it's rough, but c'est la vie. That's how it goes. That's kind of what we're dealing with here. So, just east of Pauls Valley right now, or Purcell, I said it again, just east of Purcell. Going to be targeting southern Oklahoma. I will say these storms, or the storm near Archer City, kind of came up a little bit faster than I was expecting. I was expecting it to kind of initiate later afternoon, say 4 or 5 p.m. It's only 1:42. Here we are. So I thought we would have a chance to kind of, look at the storms east of 35 and see what they do, and then drop south and wait for the next round. But it seems like the next round has already started, so we'll head that way. All right, I'm going to head over to the chat and see what's going on. If anyone has any bright ideas out there about this chase. I think the best thing I can think is that the storms to the south will probably interact with the outflow boundary. Probably what we're waiting for. Did anyone see any tornadoes yesterday? We had one on the stream yesterday, your Arnett. It was beautiful, beautiful elephant trunk tornado. it was spinning pretty fast. I think people who were closer said it was a little bit of a drill bit, meaning it was spinning very fast. We didn't get close enough to that to see it really, but it was wild. The structure on that storm was unbelievable. In fact, I'll probably bring it up on my phone right now to show you. So this was yesterday at about 6 p.m. near Arnett, Oklahoma. Beautiful structure. This entire supercell was rotating. Really enjoyed it. The only thing I didn't enjoy is we did get some pretty big hail dings there. I will say that. We had up to, I think, golf balls where we were, and we saw softballs, which is wild. I've only seen softballs on a chase a couple times before. I remember one of the craziest ones was actually in, I think it was 2009, or no, maybe, yeah, it was 2009. It was just after the Goshen County, Wyoming event that the Weather Channel got live. They had this big tornado out there on the ground for 30 minutes. And 2 days later, we found ourselves in, I think it was northwest Missouri, if I am not mistaken. And there was a little town called Oregon that was right on the river there, just maybe east of the river. And there was an HP supercell that we were doing what we called transects through. Transect is like this, basically just moving north, south, east, or west through the circulation, or the north side of the circulation, was what was our job. We did this with the mobile mesonet probe. It had temperature, humidity, wind speed sensors on it. Went south through the core. We started seeing baseballs, and then the baseballs became softballs, and then the softballs became, I don't even know what the size is, probably 6 inches in diameter, whatever that is. Huge. Some people trying to collect that hail while it was falling. Not a great thing. Not a great thing. So, anyway, definitely some big hail probabilities today. We got pretty steep mid-level lapse rates, meaning that the temperatures are decreasing with height at a very rapid rate today, meaning you have cold temperatures where thunderstorm updrafts are strong, where you can get hail growth happening. And so I would not be surprised if we saw softballs today. All right, let me check the chat. We're getting into Purcell. So that's kind of where we were earlier. Right, slowing down. Kendra says, we were watching you. Oh, great. Yes, Jason says, the Arnett tornado. Jason, I wonder if you were there. Did you get out, Jason? I'm wondering if you're out today. You're probably thinking about getting out because of being in the Wichita Falls area, if I remember correctly. And Kendra said, yeah, Colorado's tornado was pretty epic. That is awesome. Good job, Kendra. That is so tired. So, in retrospect, probably the right decision, but golly, what a storm that was. Just east of Greensburg, Haviland, Kansas. Can't remember the other town name, but it was pretty bad. It was pretty bad. Hope I didn't miss my turn there. Don't think I did. Okay, good. This is the east side of Purcell. Purcell's one of those long towns. Yeah, we're almost there. So Jason says, got the Arnett tornado in baseballs. Wow. That was wild, wasn't it? Golly. Some of the biggest hail I've seen while chasing, like I said. Not chasing today. Fair enough. Hopefully we can get something on the stream for you. Oh, okay, now I know where we are. The bridge. This is the same road I used, was it 13 years or 12 years ago? The Moore tornado. We headed west here, just like I'm doing now. And as soon as we got to the main drag in Purcell, we headed north towards Moore to see that F5. Only took us about 20 minutes to get there. I will say I was going at speeds that I probably shouldn't have been doing, but we got there. We got to see the wedge. Very sad situation. Tim says they're starting to pop south of me. Okay, it's good to know. I will take a look. Yep, you're right. Here we go again. Gosh, this is just making lots of turns east and west and south, north. I don't know if I'm going to do that now here. Those storms are going up. You're right. Kind of wonder what the Warn on Forecast model is doing. Oh, that upper flow is definitely popping. Dang it. I might have to turn around. Boy, that came up fast. Because I don't like going through Paul's Valley, I'm just going to try to use I-35 to good effect. And try to get a little closer, get maybe down towards Wynnewood. And then maybe, hopefully these things will be moving northward. I'm not sure if I'll chase those or not. It just depends if they go up. They're in a good environment, so if they, take off, no reason not to chase them, to be honest. Let me just show you where that is right now. These just came up very quickly. Thanks for the heads up, Tim. So it's near Springer. Unfortunately, we are basically due north of them, so if they turn right, we're going to be kind of playing catch up a little bit, trying to get out ahead of them. Currently in Purcell, Oklahoma, waiting to get out. Looks like SBC has a new MD. Trying to decide if it's best to drive south or... Yeah, I think I'm a little out of position here, unfortunately. But I'm wondering if I could just go south to Wynnewood and then drop south to, or so you could go east to Roth. Might have to come in from the backside a little bit, unfortunately. Boy, these storms are pretty explosive, I'll say. Worst case scenario, I can go toward that storm in Archer City. How's that looking? Boy, that's a beast. All right, here we go. Finally moving. Purcell, Oklahoma, y'all. Tim, you're due east of the cells, huh? That's good. That cell near Ardmore is coming up very quickly. Take a look at the mesonet, see what's going on there. Boy, there's quite a boundary there. Put this on the screen. See that? So notice that on the left side of the map, the wind barbs are coming from the south and southwest, and then on the east side or right side, they're coming out of the southeast. That's where that boundary is. Cooler temperatures, outflow boundary. So I think we have a pretty good boundary here for tornadoes. I mean, the dew point temperatures are in the mid-70s. Holy mackerel. 81 over 75. It's wild. Okay. Tim says he's going to wait and hang out for that storm. Excellent, excellent. Good choice. Yeah, that storm near Springer, I might have to figure out how to get there if that goes nuts. I'm a little bit worried that I'm too far behind to catch up with it. Depends on how fast it's moving. In retrospect, I should have just dropped south from Gwinnett. Gotten ahead of that cell near Ardmore. We're thinking about that storm now near Archer City, so it's kind of these things evolve. We're kind of in a weird situation, weird setup where it's not like typical dryline activity, where you see stuff go up on the dry line and then after that, oh my goodness, we are going so slow. And we have typically dry line activity, and then you know exactly where it's going to form and that sort of thing. It's kind of like these popcorn type thunderstorms. The cap is pretty weak, it looks like. It's going up very quickly. Oh my, got some divergence aloft, I think. Yeah, that's coming up in a hurry. Still looks to be going north, which, even though the warning has it going northeast, I think it's more going north, which definitely suits me just fine, because I need everything to just slow down a touch. South from Purcell, head towards southern Oklahoma. I'm going to see if those storms near Ardmore, they get going, or maybe we'll try the Archer City. My gut says probably to play the eastern storm, since that's available. However, I'm a little worried about the angle that I'm playing on it. I don't like coming from the north and northwest, especially on a day when things are moving at a pretty good clip. Let's look at the velocity here. Green is toward, and less green is less toward. You might be able to infer a circulation just north of Ardmore. That is at tilt 3, so that's pretty high up in the atmosphere. I'm going to tilt 1. Much better looking structure there. I actually like this more because there are more storms here that can work against the cap together. Eventually there will be probably too many storms, to be honest, so that won't be great. But for now, I do appreciate the fact that there are just a number of storms there. So near Archer City looks amazing. So the plan is to try to see if we can intercept this cell to the southeast. I don't know if that's going to be possible or not, just owing to the location of it relative to me, but it seems to be moving a little bit more north. It hasn't really turned right, so advantage is me. I like that. Boy, there's some really powerful looking updrafts right here. I've seen some Peleus clouds on this updraft just to my southeast. There's another area of upward motion. And that just exploded, didn't it? It's not there, and now it's there, so now I have to adjust. That's what that associated with that differential positive vorticity advection, right? The storm system coming in, the shortwave trough, the spin coming in at the mid levels, causing the air to rise out ahead of it. It's all beginning to rise. The subsidence didn't last for too long. Now the subsidence mean. So I'm now south of Purcell, approaching Paoli, and then we'll move down toward Wynnewood. I may have a chance to head towards Roth and Hickory. Might have to come in from behind on this thunderstorm to see tornadoes from the backside, potentially. Don't have a very good angle on it, unfortunately. Probably get off at Paoli. Or, at Pulse Valley, excuse me. So in this instance, like I really like this area in south central Oklahoma because of the boundary that's there. But when the first storms went away, I retargeted to Archer City because the storm's down to the southwest because there's a storm. But some storm is better than no storm. But I do know that the low level shear is better to the east, which is why I like these storms that are forming. That said, they are very quickly taking on somewhat of a linear configuration, so that's not super great. But you often do see that at the beginning of these thunderstorms that develop into tornadic supercells. They kind of struggle a little bit to develop circulations, and then once they do, then they go nuts. We may see that here in a little bit. I will say the development, the time is explosive. It's the most explosive development I've seen in terms of just how fast these things are getting going. All right. Get back to the stream. So Kendra thinks I should head toward Henrietta. Is that the western one? Oh. Tim says, I'm trying to make... Yeah, oh my goodness, it's moving northeast at 55. Wow. Yeah. Good luck to me. And you. System is kicking out today. Start to get those stronger mid-level winds and everything just gets going. Yeah, I'm not too optimistic about my chances on the Springer storm, but we'll see. Okay, Henrietta is the one that's out west. Got it. Springer back on here. No low level meso yet, though one could form pretty quickly. I think the structure of this thing is actually pretty nice. It's a little bit more explosive than the last one. We have another cell to the south of that, southwest of Ardmore. And I think I could interact with that and maybe cause it to go tornadic at some point. I'm going to try to hit it at Winnie Wood and see if we can go east from there. But like Tim was saying, the thing is moving at a very, very fast clip. All right, hold on. I'm going to go on mute for just a I'm back. Sorry about that, folks. I had to attend to a phone call there. I'm going to go ahead and put the do not disturb on here so we don't have that problem again. And let's see. So it looks like the SPC feels that, or believes that the area around Ardmore could be pretty interesting in the next few hours. They're looking at the 4 to 7 time frame, 4 to 7 p.m. time frame, and I believe the area that's on near Springer, I think it's going to move out of that area in the next hour that they're looking at. So I think they're really referring to the like maybe that would be the best talking about. So see, yeah, those are looking okay though. I mean, it looks like a supercell. Let me put this up on the view. Boy, the traffic is pretty heavy here in central Oklahoma, near Pauls Valley. Seems that storm has slowed down just a hair. That's good. No, it's your Doherty. That or not. I do like the fact that it's closer to the boundary than the one near Henrietta, Texas. So that's, Archer City, North Texas. But this one looks a little linear too. So on the other hand, this one has it's moving northward for me instead of moving more east. So it's giving me a shot at intercepting it. So I think there's a chance. Boy, I tell you what, these things came up so quickly. Anybody still in the chat? I know this has been the most exciting, entertaining last hour or so that you've probably had, but we'll get there. We'll see some. Currently near Pauls Valley, closing in on the parent supercell near Springer, Oklahoma, Doherty area. Boy, it looks like the line. Put that back up. Storms. Not a huge fan of that, to be honest. I don't know. I feel like the sneaking suspicion that Henrietta storm may be the one that I need to target. That's looking a little, I don't know, we'll see. Has a lot of lightning though. So for reference, the Henrietta storm is this guy right over here. A little bit more isolated. HRRR this morning had a nice long track supercell kind of through southern Oklahoma, northern Texas Panhandle, or southern Oklahoma, northern Texas. And I don't know what it's doing now. I've looked at the herd a little bit. Let's pull that up actually. So I'm pulling up the herd now. The Cape is so high today. Unbelievable. Okay, so we've got the Cape chart over here. sorry, excuse, not the Cape chart, the Quebec reflectivity from the HER. And what it shows is kind of what we're seeing now, around 4 p.m. Has something like the Henrietta cell chugging along and getting big and bad, and then turning into a line. Staying just south of the Red River. Tornado perimeter there. I'm just going to do the cheat. It's about the same everywhere, about the little shear. It's a little bit better in eastern Oklahoma. It's not really great anywhere. Let's see what happens with time. Okay. Kind of explodes with time. I like that. Unfortunately, it's also at the same time that we have a lot more storms than we have now. I think my hunch tells me that Henrietta storm is going to be the one, based on this. And I really don't like the terrain in eastern Oklahoma, and there's a better chance of seeing something in the better terrain near Ardmore. So I think I'm going to skip out on this cell that's moving east of I-35. As much as I'd like to intercept it, I'm going to move a little further south. See if the chat agrees with me. You still, yeah. Kendra, I've been I've done this before too, working at the office, watching streams. That's what I'm usually doing. Today I'm happily chasing, and wish I had someone to go with, to be honest with you, but probably after this chase is done, whenever it goes linear, I'm going to be heading right back up I-35 and down I-40 and get as far as I can tonight to get back home to East Tennessee. Technically I have tomorrow off, but I do have some work meetings that I have to attend, which is unfortunate. Won't be a big deal if I just kind of pop in a little bit, but rather get home faster. So we'll see what happens. So yeah, Kendra likes Henrietta. So I'm going to go back over to radar scope. We are going to target the Henrietta storm. Switching gears here to radar mode. Pretty close to this, whatever this is. It's really not moved in the last it's barely moved in the last 40 minutes. So honestly, if this were going to be a tornado producer, I'd be in luck, because it hasn't moved. Kind of probably backbuilt, but it is a bit of a line. I mean, things can change. I'm not saying that I won't target that if things go just outrageously crazy here in the next few minutes, but generally speaking, I'm not as impressed with that one as I am with the one to the southwest. Yeah, that velocity signature does not look amazing to me. Going back to reflectivity. It's a pretty big storm though. I mean, I'm not entirely sure if that's a linear, yeah, it's kind of a linear mess. A little bit of an embedded supercell though. I mean, certainly could see that one pretty. And then the big boy coming in from Henrietta. Didn't think I was going to be in North Texas today, to be honest with you. But, or heading to North Texas, let's say. But here we are. Put that motion on. But it's exploding, all right. I don't particularly care for the shape of that. Just a little messy. I'm going to slow it down a little bit. Mr. Cop is up here. That is all right. It's getting a little bit more curvature, I'll say, in that last update. A little bit more inflow, probably. And I'll just be. I mean, I could probably intercept that near Sulphur, to be honest with you, if there was a reason to. I like to keep an open mind while I'm chasing. It's easy to drop south and go west. Not so easy to go east.
really is not. There's not much going on with velocity. To be honest with you, I was a little surprised that we went moderate risk today. I would have thought that an enhanced risk would have been appropriate, but SBC knows way more than I do, so who knows? Maybe in the next few minutes this could go nuts. There's that cell near Davis, southeast of Davis. Try to pull that up.
Close to Davis. So I'm at a decision point here. Anyone seen any reports of wall clouds or anything with that storm near Sulphur? I'm curious if I should take a look at it. I legitimately have a shot at getting it just to my southeast, as you can see. I'll hop over to chat and see what everyone says. Gosh, that's a pretty ugly looking storm too. I think I might just push on. Especially now that it's interacting with that. Well, maybe, here's what we can do. Probably should get some gas, top off here. I might take a quick break and just see if that storm does anything near Sulphur, and if so, then head after it. Otherwise, I'll continue on toward Henrietta. I think right now my hunch is that that storm's going to get pretty tracks with that boundary. All right, I'm going to pull off here at Davis, do a quick refuel, take that back. That is looking really bad in that latest update. Except maybe near Doherty. Yeah, I might just continue on. I do all the refueling and stuff later. That's really getting ugly. It certainly could get its act together further east, though. Sometimes when these storms have interactions, they can supercharge them. So I think there's definitely that possibility that this gets supercharged. I'm just honestly not that thrilled with the idea of chasing a really messy storm in the sticks today. So I'm gonna stick with the original plan. It's out to Ardmore, I guess towards goes out towards that Henrietta storm. This is probably just that road that goes due west out of... Okay, Marietta probably is the road that I'll want. Maybe. So I'm thinking of going into full-on chase mode. So we're skipping this guy. It's a little troubled. May do something, but it's going to be in the sticks. So I don't chase the sticks. And there's a really good reason to, like a tornado. I will say the velocity is picking up a little bit near Sulphur. Going through the Arbuckles now. I'll just could get going. Doesn't impress me much at this point. Boy, that's getting messy quick, isn't it? Yeah, no thank you. That's the one we want. Alright. we'll see what happens. Potential here. Heading towards Ardmore now. I'm gonna hook over to Henrietta. I bet that's a beautiful storm near Henrietta. Let's put that up. Look at that. Looks like a classic supercell. Maybe even LG. I'm excited about that storm. I'm not excited about the other storm, so we're gonna go ahead toward that one. So we're gonna go to Marietta and then hook west. See what the motion is on this thing. So I'm going through the Arbuckles right now. If you know where the Arbuckle Mountains are, they're just north of Ardmore. Let's head for this storm. Meet it somewhere over there. Looks like it is turning due east on the river, which was, I think, what the HUR had said. So, or had shown. Or there's some kind of hail core in that. DBZ is very high. Oh yeah. 1.4 is dB. So basically, when you have high reflectivity, really high reflectivity, like say above 55 dBz, and low ZDR, say below 2, and particularly closer to 0, you usually have some giant hail. So what this suggests to me is that there's some heavy rain and there's probably some large hail in that particular storm. Correlation coefficient's another good one to look at. Storm. Oh, tornado warning. Excellent, excellent. Woohoo. Good job, Kendra. Nice target. That got going in a quick hurry, didn't it? So radar indicated rotation. That's the one we're headed for. Looks like it's almost moving due east, so it's going to be one of those Red River huggers, which I absolutely hate. I really wish it would lift to the north to stay south of the red, and it just makes it for a miserable time trying to keep up with the storm. If you've been a storm chaser for a while, you know what I'm talking about. I did that last year, the day of the Windthorst tornado. After that one produced near Windthorst, it kind of hugged the red for way too long. That's what it does. Okay, let's see if there's any. Are there any radars closer to that? Let's see. FDR's closer. Let's do that. Okay, the velocity signature is not that amazing right now. So, not sure exactly what prompted it, but like the confidence from the Norman office, they're good folks. They do well. But regardless of that, I think this is a good decision because this is an isolated storm. I love that. I love how clean and tidy it appears to be. And did not like what ETA on this is going to be here in the next 30 minutes, I'd say. So, probably stop for fuel and a bio break in Marietta, and then we'll get it today. So, see what happens. Meso analysis update. So, let me switch over to that. I love the Arbuckle Mountains. They're great. Fantastic. The Storm Prediction Center says that this is the area of interest today, right here in southern Oklahoma and North Texas. So those folks know what they're doing, and I do believe we're in a good spot. Well, this is interesting. Excuse me. So the Meso analysis, this is the significant tornado parameter, which is just basically a shorthand for where you can find tornadoes. Really good, again, to have, it's not the end-all be-all. It's really good to understand things like storm mode and evolution, things like that. But if you're just like me, going solo, you need to figure out things in a pinch, SIGTOR is a great, significant tornado parameter is a great tool in your toolbox. And it's showing significant tornado parameter value of 4 over the cells basically here, which, quite honestly, if the storms continue to organize that they do, it may produce a tornado. The storm to our west, southwest, has yet to really enter that area, so it may take a while for it to produce a tornado, even though there is a tornado warning. But I still think that's the right storm to target. Definitely turning right, folks, which I'd prefer it to do that north of the red, but here we are. Definitely hoping that the rain lets up a little bit. Oh, I know who that is. Storm Doctor Jason Persoff. Just passed him. And we're all going to the same spot. Saw his Colorado license plate there. All right, I'm going to go over to chat. Hi, Darren. How's it going? Glad you're enjoying the stream. Hopefully it'll be a little bit more interesting in the next 30, 40 minutes once we catch up with this storm in North Texas. Thanks, Kendra. Okay, so Tim says he has a picture of rotation. Oh, nice. Oh, good work, Tim. That is a very interesting area. You're right. All right, I'm going to get back to the radar here. Looks like that storm is connecting more to the south. I hope it doesn't become a squall line too quickly, because otherwise that's game over. A little worried about that evolution right now on the south side of that, starting to connect with the storm to the south. Definitely saw that in the models. So we may need to play a little bit more aggressive than stopping for gas, to be honest. A little worried that that's going to quickly fill in. But we'll see. It's always good to stop for gas if you can. Looks like the storm that I'm targeting is moving almost due east. So I probably will need, I don't know. Really do not love those Red River huggers that we were seeing. I guess there's a road that goes out of Gainesville. I don't know. Maybe I go to Rebottom or something like that. I think there's a river crossing there, just west of Henrietta. Maybe we can drop south there to Munster. Prefer not to go through Gainesville. It'll probably slow me down quite a bit. So, okay, good. The rain has stopped. I'm going to turn up my wipers. Well, not quite. Some spray coming up off the road here. I'm going to take it off the thing here. I think most folks have the same idea here. Looks like the plan is to. A lot of people are have headed west out of Ardmore and drop south just east of Ringley, Oklahoma. Getting sunny here. They have a tornado warning for storm eastern Oklahoma. Oh, that's a messy cluster right there. Oh boy, oh boy. Jiminy Christmas, that is definitely getting going.
But it's a nasty storm, though. I would not want to chase that, to be honest with you. That is very rain-wrapped, but reflectivity looks a little messy, though. Here's our guy, KTLX. It's a storm relative. So we're almost in Ardmore. The storm is near Bellevue. Kind of a skinny storm, I'll say. Circulation on our storm doesn't look that impressive yet. I think we're still dealing with some problems with low-level shear. As mentioned, that low-level shear doesn't really kick up until you get closer to I-35 and really east of I-35, so it's got a ways to go, or I guess really until like 5 p.m. or something like that when the low-level shear kicks up. I think that's what SPC had said, so I guess that kind of checks out. I think it's going to be a race against time, though, because these storms are likely to grow up scale pretty quickly. So the problem is that basically these storms will get low-level shear. So I'm a little dubious as to whether we're going to get a tornado out of this. This tornado warns. It's relatively isolated, so for the moment, it's pretty good. All right, I'm going to pop over to chat. Still heading to Henrietta right now, by the way. James says, I'm driving home from work, but wishing I was driving toward that storm. Yeah, I wish you were too, James. Tornado warning for Gertie. Yes, indeed. That lightning is just flashing away. Really sign of a good updraft. If nothing else, I'm really excited about the potential for seeing a good updraft. I saw some great ones yesterday, particularly just north of Woodward, Oklahoma. My goodness. Let me see if I can bring up a picture, actually, while I'm here. It's pretty tremendous. So I'm going to zoom in on this guy and then put it on the chat. Or excuse me, on the screen. See that? Look at that updraft. Just north of Woodward. And Zach and I almost went chasing before the after dark stuff. After the after dark stuff, I guess that's just to say. That's what I would say. But we decided that it didn't look very good, which was the wrong call, I think. It was a repeat of Greensburg 2007 for me. I made the exact same decision, and for the exact same reasons. So in 2007, my buddy Jeff Snyder was along with me, and he had to go back to Florida for a wedding to call off the chase, but he really felt like he needed to get some sleep, so we did, and the rest is history on that. We watched the Greensburg storm just fire off in the rear view and watched incredible lightning from that updraft, and of course that became just an absolute monster, just like the storm we had last night near Greensburg again. All right, time to put up radar. How's our storm looking? Still a little skinny, but at least it's not connecting with the storm to the south. Rotation looks a little better than it did earlier. A little bit more connected. So the greens that are going towards the Frederick radar, which is to the top left of the screen, and the reds that are going away. So the greens and the red right together mean that there's a couplet. There's rotation there. just north-northwest of Bellevue. Not very strong right now, though. Maybe embedded in the rain a little bit. Gosh, that is going to track right along the north side, or excuse me, the south side of the Red River. Well, let's say a fake wind velocity measurement there. That's probably a side lobe, I'd guess. So side lobes, if you're not familiar, are basically part of the radar beam that's sent out that's kind of off to the side, and that isn't meant to bring in any signal. It's not really something that you want energy return from, but sometimes it interacts with the radar dish from basically returns coming back from the storms, and it will basically send a signal to the radar that the velocity is very high when at the reflectivity, and then we'd look at something called spectrum width. If there's reflectivity, that's a good sign that the velocity is real. So there's reflectivity above that high velocity. You can see it again here. I'll just go ahead and put it in the double pane here. You can see that where that velocity is, there is we'll look at spectrum width is the best way to tell, I'd say. Yeah, so you see how that you have that really high spectrum width there, right where those velocities are highest? That indicates those are spurious winds, or fake winds. Those are fake outs, so that's not real circulation there. Talked about that in my my course community recently. Actually, you can see at the bottom left, that's my course link. Also have a description. In the description I have a link there. You can try out the course for free. But yeah, we have a community where I do monthly webinars and talked about those fake out circulations there about 2.5 weeks ago. Not really sure what's going on there, but I'm not trusting that velocity just yet. Okay, we'll go to single pane. Not as clear cut in the storm, but we're getting real close. Let's see, let me put the motion on here. Watch this and just see where it's going. So it looks like it's going east-northeast, and with that, it's probably going towards Henrietta. So with any luck, we'll get this to lift a little bit to the north, and then I can intercept it going west from Henrietta, southern Oklahoma. So Henrietta is just south of us right here, past Ardmore. We're gonna stop for gas in Henrietta, maybe a snack, and head on off toward that tornado warning storm. That's interesting. That looks a little better. It's also in the deep trees. Oh my goodness, look at that, guys. Allen. That is a doozy, folks. Who all is out there? Brandon Alexander. Derek James. I don't know these folks. Well, I don't know if they're going to be able to see it, but I hope they can. That is embedded deeply in the rain. This one's not. Not quite as organized, though. And then there's our storm. So I think this storm, like I said, is going to be a race against the clock, though, with linear mode likely coming around 5 or 6 p.m. But we have the best chance of actually seeing a tornado here, as opposed to further to the north and east. All right, I'm going to hop over to chat. Thanks, Kendra. Yeah, that was beautiful, beautiful storm. It was very beautiful. There to the northeast, east of I-35, good velocity couplet. Very rain wrapped though, so I Hope you can stay safe out there. Kendra says that was battle for me. Close enough. I could hear Andy on Simplex, but couldn't get to it in time. Oh yeah. Oh, that must have been tough. Battle was I was with Vortex 2 that day, and we almost went after Battle. But and I believe that I may have been at least slightly responsible for that move, because I was basically the forecaster that day, and the reason for that was we had chased really late the night before, and got into, I think it was I don't know, was it Grand Island or Kearney, Nebraska? I don't know where it was. Maybe it was North Platte. That's what it was. North Platte, Nebraska. At like 3 in the morning, and some of us got back from the night. And so they asked me to do day 1 forecasting, and I gave my best forecast, which was, I thought there was a good chance of tornadoes, but it felt like, the window for tornadoes was going to be relatively small because storms would grow upscale pretty quickly. The problem was that before the storms grew up upscale, they produced a mile-wide EF4 tornado that lasted 45 minutes, something like that. So anyway, I didn't want to necessarily call the day down, but that's what happened, and so that's what we did. Everyone was exhausted, and I think there is a point at which you can be so tired that you can potentially endanger your life, by going storm chasing. So I think some days it's okay to say, you know what, I need a down day. I need to get some sleep, get some rest. And that's what we did that day. But it was the wrong day to choose that. So you got to pick your times. You got to pick your spots. Yeah, Garrett, you're absolutely right. One nice thing about the journey back is you'll be able to chase it all the way back to our we live about an hour apart. Garrett, we'll have to meet up sometime, man. I'd love to meet you and get to know you. I know James, who's been in this chat, has oh my goodness, tornado in Stonewall, Oklahoma, thinks it's a Philly thing. So that's what that I do believe that's what that east cell that we kind of let go was on that mess. Definitely a strong tornado there for sure. Okay. All right, we're about to turn towards Henrietta. Looks like they may drop the tornado warning on this storm potentially. I don't know. I actually think the storm is looking better than it did. Here's our turn. I'm gonna go ahead and get off here at the Henrietta exit. Looks like there's a shell over here. So I'll probably grab some gas there. I'm using Starlink and really don't want to keep the car going while I'm gassing up too. So I'm gonna go ahead and shut down the stream for just a few minutes. I'll be back in probably, I'd say 5 to 10 minutes. It won't take too long. Starlink usually gets back going in about 2 minutes. So I'll see you all in just a short while. And we are live again. All right, moving west. We're moving west from Henrietta towards this storm, which is near Nakona. That's looking a lot better. Excellent. Okay, still the velocities are not super strong yet, but we're in good position to get it. It looks like it's maybe lifting a little bit to the north. Actually, you know what? I'll do that with reflectivity. Okay, here's the velocity, or excuse me, the reflectivity loop. Looks like it's moving ever so slightly east-northeast. And I will say, what's nice about this one is that okay. Okay, so it's moving east-northeast. Sorry about that. I had a technical issue that I had to work through just a second ago. But we're moving right through it, right toward it, and we'll be there in a few minutes. How's everyone in the chat? Yeah, Garrett, let's make it happen. We'll definitely have to get together, man. Apologize for the sound of eating here. On the map here. I might have to look for south turns here. Get out of the way of the storm. In fact, I will. Is starting to get a little bit more interesting out here. West of Henrietta, Oklahoma. Heading west. On State Highway 32. That's good. There's a rotating wall cloud on this storm. Versus relative to Nicholas Hills. Neon. I guess one concern I have is with the hail is am I going to be able to get south, get out of the way of this, across the river? Looks like there might be a little, might just have to wait for it. Looks like the only real crossing is over there by Ryan, Oklahoma, which Ryan is like pretty much in the thick of it. So we're gonna just have to wait for this to come. maybe get out of the way of the hail. There's going to be some big hail, so it's going to be an interesting strategy here. I'm really hoping it lifts a little bit to the north. Otherwise, we're kind of hosed. Looks like there might be a river crossing right there, west of Leon. Let me see what's up. Found it. We're in the money at Courtney, Oklahoma. Okay, so we will be able to cross the river near Belleville. So I guess it's gonna, yeah. We should be able to get out ahead of this. Thank goodness. Cross the river. So I'll be crossing the river west of Henrietta near a town called Root Bottom. Just west of Root Bottom, there's a north-south road that allows you to cross the river. What a mess we have up here. Whoa. I think the only hope we have of a halfway decent visible tornado is the storm we're on. Because the other stuff is just, my goodness, very, very messy. It's just lifting to the north a little bit too. Near Nakona. Excuse me. Opening a soda here. Right. See what's up in the chat. Probably haven't. Okay. Yeah, Garrett, it does seem to be really stretching out that hail report, or that hail core. There's a wall cloud report. All right. Getting pretty close to our south turn here. That should allow us to get out of the way of the hail core. And there are going to be some big old chunks of ice in that. Let me put this back up. Look at that. Correlation coefficient is low. Let's see, ZDR. That's going to be the real tell. Oh, yeah. Look at that. So you see that blue area next to the orange? Let me just put it on the inspect mode here. Look at that. 0.9 dB. Put it on the double pane here. 65 dBz. I bet you dollars to donuts that there are probably baseballs at least in that hail core. You do not want to mess with that hail core today. That is a very, very chunky hail core. Whew, boy howdy. Do not want to mess around with that. Glad we have a river crossing, guys. This is very nice to have. And the hail core seems to be oriented southwest to northeast, which is really to our advantage because that means I can kind of slide in on the forward flank rather than, having it hit me with hail like it did yesterday. We had up to, I think, golf balls where I was. I have a rental car, which I really was trying to avoid the hail, but there was a big explosion of hail out even into the forward flank, which is not typically where you see hail. Typically it happens in the core, which is just to the north of the tornado. But in this case, with like nickel-sized hailstone, and I think in the arm too. It was not a good feeling, but I'll tell you what, the tornado that we saw was worth it. So I'm fine today. No big deal. If the hail had been bigger, I think I'd been in tougher shape. All right, we're closing in on Rue Bottom, which is, let me take this thing off so you can see it a little bit better. Okay, we're going through this little shower right here, north of Leon. This is just a massive hailer. Good heavens. A lot of hail in this thing. I'm really encouraged, though, how classic it seems to be despite the low-level shear. So that, to me, is a Chasers of North Texas who did not mess around with the central Oklahoma stuff. Also, it looks like the inflow is getting carved out a little bit, which is, I think, a healthy sign. I like to see that because that means it'll be a little bit more visible and hopefully better for the stream. Obviously, for pictures, not bad. Good velocity. Velocity, it looks a little iffy. Definitely some room for improvement there. Tour vans over here. Yep, Chase Tour. Must be waiting for it to come. Not a bad idea, to be honest with you. Let's be a little bit closer, though. Let's see. I think I can cross the river up here, which would be very advantageous, but I do also see an explosion of hail outward, so I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get there in time to cross the river before that happens, so stay tuned. They may be heading back to the east to avoid hail. Definitely do not want to mess around with this storm. Chunks of ice in there are very, very large. All right. Let's see. start to see the thunderstorm updraft a little bit. That's kind of nice. Making good time westward. I think we'll probably just slide in past this without having to deal with hail. Got to be uber careful because this is not my vehicle and it's already dinged up. Yeah. So we're trying to pass the hill. So we're this north-south road where you see all the dots. That's where we're crossing. And once we get there, we can get out of the way of the storm and kind of watch it from the traditional southeast side of the storm, the supercell. And that will allow us to have a much better view, much safer. But we got to get there to that river crossing because that's the only way, unless we wait for it, which I'd rather not wait for that long. Especially since this is growing upscale, more than likely. You can kind of see that with the other storms nearby. All right. This is a big storm. Big storm. Large scale. It's able to stay isolated well enough until it gets to the better low-level shear, or let's say it stays isolated long enough for the low-level shear to kick up in this area. And then I think we have a chance of seeing a pretty nice tornado today. Okay, I'm gonna hop over to chat, see what's going on. Garrett's gotta get going. Thanks, Garrett. Appreciate it, man. Second tornado's forming. Okay, good deal, man. I hope you're able to see that. Very close to our south turn, which is exciting. Super exciting. Oh, got some chasers up here, I think, or a cop. Can't tell. Chasers. Waiting for it to cross. Excellent, excellent. And I am going to find that nice, beautiful north-south road. Put my radar back up. Oh yeah, that's definitely going to lift to the north. So this is what we want to do. Get out of the way. We can find a good spot to watch it too. Lots of chasers around here. Let's take a look at the storms to the east while we're thinking about it. Yeah, those storms are looking good. It's just that they're very messy. Huge storm complex, excuse me. Yeah, the velocities are not so high. I still think I like our storm the best for the moment. Fine, so let's set up shop here. This is amazing. Road over here I can probably turn west on. Get out ahead of some of these storm chasers, maybe. As long as, provided that hail is not coming in. I gotta double check that and make sure that I'm not gonna get hailed on. Otherwise I really like it. Yeah, I think this is gonna be okay. Go a little bit further than these guys. Space to there's the view. So I'm going to bring it to a stop here. We'll just hang out for a minute. Interrogate this radar and make sure that we're okay from the hail. I think so. It's lifting. It's also back building, it looks like. Interesting. Looks like there might be a bit of an embedded circulation to the north. Now I've got to start thinking about where I'll go if this thing starts to slide east a little bit. So I think probably what I'd do is just move north and then move east. I will say this is overall not looking as healthy as it had been, but it'll probably work. Yeah, hail-wise, we should be in good shape. Okay, looks like we're getting out of the rain here. Most excellent. I'm starting to see a bit of a lowering even to the southwest. Doesn't look that low. Let's see if I can turn the camera that way. Sorry guys, hold on. Just a minute. Okay, I still got the audio going. I'm just trying to figure out the camera situation. Oh, okay. I think it was just... got kind of fuzzy. Oh, here's the storm coming. Just a little out of focus. Is that out of focus for you guys? Looks like it's a little out of focus. Go ahead and angle the vehicle. Okay. Marshall in the Hail Research Team is in Kansas. Okay, thanks, Kendra. Oh, we've got a wall cloud, guys. Excellent, excellent. We can go right for it. Let's do it. Throw up my radar. Yep, we got a wall cloud. Absolutely. Try to get a better view of it. It's a little high base, guys. A little high base, but it's a good wall cloud. I might have to be a little bit careful about getting too close. It looks like the hail core is on the kind of on the left side there. It's got a little tendril that's kind of hanging down. It's pretty high base right now, which is interesting. A little bit squally, if I'm being really honest. I don't know what's going on velocity-wise. Yeah, I do wonder about that velocity. In fact, it does appear like there's more of like a... Oh, yeah. Wolf. Classic kiss of death there, honestly. Looks like a shelf cloud almost. At least over there to the left. Now to the right, No, it looks like there might be a circulation developing, actually. Let's see. Let me find out if there's a road I can turn north on. Yeah, there is. Excellent. So this is, for those just joining the stream, this is near Nacona, Texas, just on the south side, or sorry, just on the south side of the Red River. Pretty decent storm. Probably have to retreat here in a minute because the way it looks, it's probably arcing towards us. Oh, did they reissue the tornado warning? They did. They did. So this is now tornado warned. Excellent. We're gonna go on Belleville Road, which goes into Belleville, Oklahoma. Now we're still in Oklahoma right now, so there's actually a tornado supposedly due west of me right now. I'm looking for it. If I see it, then I will stop and take a look. I don't see anything yet. I'll zoom in there. See what my hail situation's looking like. A little better. Oh, this is connecting though. That's no bueno. Oh, and the eastern one is pretty interesting too. Okay. So we're at State Highway 32 again, and just kind of seeing what's going on here. The velocity. Storm chasers. All right. I think I'm gonna west so you guys can see. To be honest, we'll try. That's the way the storm looks right now. Do a little bit of a pivot for a T-turn here. We'll just stay here just for a minute and then probably have to leave. But just want to take a quick peek. Pretty good. Pretty good. Tornado warned storm. Let me just take that off. This is near Leon, just near the Red River. Just to my west, really. Okay, I gotta get out of the way here, guys. Sorry. Tornado, it's just west of us, but I don't really honestly see much in terms of motion in there. I might have to boogie and get out of here. Let's see. It's pretty nasty looking. I'm gonna, you know what? I don't really like this that much. It's very outflowy. Turn around. Whale's mouth. Yeah, this is already throwing up isolated supercells, to be honest with you. All right, I'm gonna hop over and chat and see what's up. Supercell is in Hughes County. Yeah, so it's that one that, yep. folks, I don't really like the look of this. I think it's growing up to scale pretty quickly. It's a nasty storm mode here, so I think I'll give it another few minutes, but this is a part of the day where I'm inclined to call it a day because, you know, I really don't like chasing squall lines. So we'll see what happens, but it's been a pretty quick evolution, I'd say, to eastern Oklahoma. I might head up there. For now, I think I'm going to probably sign off and put the stream on hold. Gabe at WXGabe on Twitter, or look for that on YouTube at WXGabe. That's where the stream will be. So for now, I think I'm going to go ahead and call it a day on the stream. I'm not going to venture into that wall cloud area. Yeah, that's. I'm gonna do one last quick check. I know there's velocity in there, but I just. I'm gonna go ahead and hang it up for now. If something interesting comes up, I'll definitely put the stream back up. So stay tuned for the update from X. All right, talk to you later.